Hello students, how are you? I hope you all must be fine. I'm Mohammad Fazif, biochemistry mentor, and I'm back here with the third part of the chapter acid, base and salt. So in this part we are going to discuss about chemical reactions of acids. So if you have not watched the first two parts, go and watch it. I will add the link in the description box. So let's start. So the first reaction for the acids are with the metals. You can see here reaction of acids with the metal. So acids, they react with the metals to form salt and hydrogen gas. Okay, whenever acid react with the active metals, obviously, then it will form salt and hydrogen gas will be released. Now there are some examples you can see here. We have taken sulfuric acid, dilute sulfuric acid. Which type of sulfuric acid we have taken here? It is dilute. This one is also dilute. All the acids that I have taken here is diluted. Okay, na? So when dilute sulfuric acid react with the metals like magnesium, then magnesium salt is produced. You can see here magnesium, they react with the sulfate, so it's from magnesium sulfate, and hydrogen gas is released here. Next, when hydrochloric acid react with zinc, so it forms zinc chloride, then Cl2, and again hydrogen gas is released. In the third case, when aluminium, which is also an active metal, reacts with HCl, hydrochloric acid, then again aluminium chloride, salt is produced and hydrogen gas is released. And in the next case, when copper reacts with chlorine, copper reacts with chlorine, there will be no reaction. Why? Because copper is below hydrogen in the activity series. So copper cannot displace hydrogen from chlorine. It's not as much powerful. ये reaction नहीं हो सकता. Why? Because it is below hydrogen. So these were some reactions between metals and these acids. Now you have seen that in all the chemical reactions, students, hydrogen gas is released. And you know how to test hydrogen gas? Yes. Hydrogen gas burns with a pop sound. If you will bring the burning candle near hydrogen and hydrogen gas is passed through the soap solution, then bubbles will form and those bubbles will burn, and hydrogen gas will produce pop sound. This we can do in the laboratory also. Now one more important thing is there. What will be the reaction when these metals react with nitric acid? We cannot forget, nitric acid is also very important acid for us. So nitric acid, students, here also one salt is produced. And zinc nitrate is also a salt. But hydrogen gas is not produced here. Here H2O and NO. NO is called nitric oxide is produced. Why it is happening? This is a very important question. This is a very important question for you. Look here. Nitric acid, it is a strong oxidizing agent. You should note it down. Nitric acid क्या है? It is a strong oxidizing agent. So it will oxidize the H2. हाइड्रोजन को ये नाइट्रिक एसिड ऑक्सीडाइज कर देगा. किस फॉर्म में? In the form of H2O. So nitric acid is a strong oxidizing agent. It will oxidize H2 to H2O and itself get reduced. And itself it will get reduced to NO. तो इसे याद रखना होगा. यहां पर अगर चाहो तो N2O भी बना सकते थे या NO2 भी बना सकते थे. That depends on the type of acid what you have taken here. Diluted, very dilute, what you have taken. ठीक है? तो याद रखना, whenever nitric acid react with any of the metals, it will form salt and H2O. है ना? हाइड्रोजन को ऑक्सीडाइज कर दे रहा है और साथ में नाइट्रिक ऑक्साइड, नाइट्रस ऑक्साइड, नाइट्रोजन डाइऑक्साइड, मतलब HNO3 जो है वो खुद रिड्यूस हो जा रहा है नाइट्रोजन ऑक्साइड्स में और H2 को ऑक्सीडाइज कर दे रहा है H2O में. ठीक है? अब यहां पर एक एक्सेप्शन है स्टूडेंट्स. व्हाट एक्सेप्शन आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट हियर? व्हेन दिस HNO3 will react with two metals like magnesium and manganese. ठीक है ना? I am writing here HNO3 plus Mg, and this HNO3 it is very डाइल्यूट, बहुत ज्यादा डाइल्यूटेड है, और ये यहां पर तुम Mg ले लो, देन अगेन यू नो MgNO3 is produced here and MgNO3 whole twice and hydrogen gas is released. ठीक है, तो याद रखना, in the case of magnesium and manganese, normal reaction will occur, means normal salt and hydrogen gas is produced. But only when the nitric acid you have taken is very very dilute, it should be very very dilute. ठीक है, तो याद रखना होगा. I'm going to write here also for you that HNO3, I'm writing here, wait, I will write it. Okay, so HNO3 is an oxidizing agent, very strong oxidizing agent, and it will oxidize H2 to H2O and itself gets reduced. You can see here zinc, when reacts with very dilute nitric acid, it forms zinc nitrate and H2O and N2O. So what we can write, that HNO3 is a strong oxidizing agent. It will oxidize H2 to H2O and itself get reduced to N2O or NO or NO2, means it can itself gets reduced to any of the oxides of nitrogen. Now magnesium, this is very important, this is an exception. Magnesium and manganese, they can react with very dilute nitric acid. They can react with very dilute nitric acid to form salt and normally hydrogen gas. But if other metals are there, then this will happen. अगर मेरे को लिया गया है magnesium and manganese and very dilute HNO3, then normal reaction will take place as I have written here. This is normal reaction with magnesium and manganese. इसे याद रखना होगा तुम्हें. Now one more thing, hydrogen gas once pops on, ये सबको पता है. Reaction of acids with metal carbonates. As you can see here, acids, they react with metal carbonates to form respective salts, and H2O and CO2 gas will also be released. So acids plus metal carbonates gives respective salts, water and carbon dioxide gas. And as you know that carbon dioxide gas, it turns lime water milky. And also we can test carbon dioxide gas because it extinguishes the fire. So these are the two properties of CO2 by which we can test. Now let's see some more examples. Sulfuric acid, as you can see here, sulfuric acid H2SO4, when it reacts with sodium carbonate, then it will form respective salt with salt, like sodium and sulfate. The sodium sulfate salt is produced along with water and CO2 gas. Similarly, hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid, they react with calcium carbonate to form again a salt like calcium chloride salt, and water and CO2 gas will be released. So these were the two reactions of metals with acid carbonates. Now next is reaction of acids with metal bicarbonates. So just like in the first case, here also acid react with metal carbonates to form the same product. Product is same, means here also you will get salt, water and carbon dioxide. So what we can say, this is a general reaction. You should learn this reaction, that acid react with metal carbonates to form salt, water and carbon dioxide gas. Let's see some examples. So sulfuric acid, when react with sodium bicarbonate, it forms a salt like sodium sulfate and along with water and CO2. Similarly, hydrochloric acid, it reacts with calcium bicarbonate to form a respective salt, calcium chloride, and it gives water and CO2. Our next reaction is reaction between acids and base. So this reaction we have already discussed so many times. In the first chapter also we have discussed. So the reaction in which acid reacts with base to form salt and water along with heat is known as neutralization reaction. So this reaction is also known as neutralization reaction. This is called neutralization reaction. So there are so many examples we can see here, like hydrochloric acid. When reacted with sodium hydroxide, it forms sodium sulfate, sodium chloride plus H2O and heat. So this is acid, this is base, and this is salt and water. This is edible salt. Similarly, when sulfuric acid H2SO4, it reacts with potassium hydroxide, which is a base, it forms potassium sulfate, H2O and heat. Again, this is neutralization reaction. When HCl will react with calcium hydroxide, which is also a base, it will form calcium chloride plus H2O. So these were the examples of neutralization reactions. You can write more examples by your own. Next week, we'll move to acids and metal oxides. So students, metal oxides like sodium oxide, potassium oxide, calcium oxide, ammonium oxide, magnesium oxide, zinc oxide. So these metal oxides, these are basic in nature. Why we can say these are basic in nature? Because when they will added to water, they form base. Like zinc oxide, when added to water, it will give you zinc hydroxide. Sodium oxide, when it is added to water, it will give you sodium hydroxide. So we know that metallic oxides, they are basic. They are basic in nature. They are basic oxides. So again you can see there, acid are reacting with metal oxide basic है. So acid are reacting with base to form salt and water. तो ये reaction भी ऊपर जैसा ही है. This is just like this reaction only. But here there is direct base. यहाँ पर क्या है? Direct base नहीं है. यहाँ indirectly हम लोग metallic oxide से reaction करा रहे हैं, जो कि basic ही तो है. तो यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा है? HCl react with MgO, magnesium oxide, which is basic. है ना? ये क्या है? It is basic in nature, and it forms salt, respective salts, magnesium chloride plus H2O plus heat. So this is basic, and ये भी क्या है? Basic. So all these three reactions I have given here, like HCl plus ZNO. ZNO is basic in nature. Salt कौन सा बनेगा? Zinc chloride, ZnCl2 plus H2O plus heat. So these were the reactions. These were the reactions of acids. Okay? Now in next video we will talk about the reactions of base and also about pH. That will be in the next video.